Hello there and welcome to my channel. This is Kate in the nest, and indeed, did you hear that little lift in my voice? I just noticed it myself. I am in my nest. So I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy that you might have a little chance to have a stitch along with me. We've got busy lives, and literally I've just come into my studio and had a little bit of quiet time, because when you've been away, you have lots of reflection time and lots of gratitude and thinking time. So I came into my nest, and the thing that I do is I look around, and I just love looking at things that I've made and the stories. So I went to my shelf, and because I need to put a lot of my things away that I've gathered, the treasures. So I picked up this little bag that I made, losing track of the volumes, but it was my first dilly bag, if you like. I love it very much. I've got a ribbon closure on it now, which is different to the first one. But that made me think about what I was doing then. I was doing lots and lots of more squares. And I thought, isn't that interesting? I've become probably more organic and rounded over the time, and there's a lot more fluoro in these flowers. So that was popped in this nest, which you'd have to go back to my series on to work out which one it was. But that reminded me that I have a half-finished nest. And then I decided I might start another one today, because when you come home, there's an old saying, there's no place like home, and it reflects who you are. So I've been on a journey since then, and I'm also thinking about my June pouch, which is just the way you are. You saw me a few weeks ago. It's my little flower petal nest, and I like the size of that, and I thought she could have a little companion. So if you haven't been with me to make a nest, this one I've just started. I cut, in fact, I can show you. I just use whatever's around me. Here's my little crystal bowl from a thrift shop with legs. I use this one because it doesn't take up as much space. And I turned it upside down, traced that, and that was the size of this middle-sized. While I'm here, I'll do a little bit. Okay, I need to ask you how you are going. Weekend or weekend over, wherever we are. I'm hoping you well, and as I said, stitching along. So that became the base, and then I fitted a long strip around it, and I know many people do their strip first and then stitch it on. As you've probably realised, I'm not always the same as. It depends on my mood. So today I felt like I want to put my sides straight on and just pick up favourite things. So this has started with me because I've been stitching my needlebook on the plane, and I just have been loving the softness and the comfort that comes with this quilt fabric, like vintage quilt and textiles. So I gathered it a bit, put a seam in there, and literally have, this is where Kate is at the moment, and I'm just, for some reason, top stitching this down. Then I'm going to lead you on to the next piece. And then we'll add some other textiles. So this piece here I spied when I went to my shelf that holds all my nests. I made last year, maybe August, I made a really large vessel, and this is the remaining size of it. Like, look how big that was. And in the end, it was just too big. But I'm using it as, I don't want to waste any of these treasures, so I'm harvesting. See, look, there's beautiful quilt there. There's the cuff. Here's my chenille. All my favourite bits that you will have seen before. That gorgeous bit of lace. So that is sort of my source area. I do love, look at that, that's the bit off that blouse, the vintage blouse that has the elastic in it and those ruffles. I might actually harvest that now. And you know why I when I said harvest, I had this moment of absolute joy because I could pick up my pink scissors. I absolutely love my blue ones that have travelled with me, but I do love having pink ones that match my stitching or whatever colour scheme I'm doing, which happens to be a bit pinky today. So this is a vintage textile with it's like a seersucker, and then it's joined on already, and because I'm in a frilly stage, so what I thought I might start doing with these two little nests is I usually have I've shown you before, well, I actually do have little I have projects in my nests, and the textiles that I'm pulling from, but I was thinking, gosh, let's not bury the whole, I was thinking that I might use it for things like this, put my colours in. So here's some pinks and yellows that I need to work on there. So on this one, I've really probably done more on the inside than on the outside. Oh, there's my swanee I haven't seen. Oh, and there's a flower. See, that's a sign. She's been sitting there for a while. Okay, back to it. But see, this is what I'm trying to, that was what I was trying to tell you, wasn't it? That I want to be, and there's no side that's right, but let's just put that there as a start. And I've already got my frilly gathered bit. So I'm feeling absolutely freezing cold today. My friends told me and family told me it was cold at home, but it really is. I actually had to have a shower because I could not get warm. I was just putting the layers and layers on. So that is, you know, Northern Hemisphere. What would you expect? So change of stitch. This is an old, well, everything's old, but was a tray cloth. A little bit of red there. Let's just sort of maybe do some seed stitching here. Just to make it a bit more interesting. Get some colour on that beige. I don't even know if I'm sort of in the right spot. So you'll know I'm home because I've got mountains all around me, and I'm excited because I can put some new treasures away, and in that process come across all the projects that I haven't finished or have been wanting to start, or bits of fabric, etc. So, and now that that work trip is out of the way, I've actually got a couple of months where I'm just going to make, bank. Okay, so this is another piece that had this lovely, you may remember from this is my very vintage series, that gorgeous crocheted doily. And I'm putting the blanket over the top like a little binding. So we'll go over there now. And this is just how my mind works. I go from the inside to the outside. I'm not all that logical, sequential. In this process, in other parts of my life I am, but making this is my happy place. And it's been a while. You probably just think I make pouches. Well, I'm doing lots of other things, aren't I suppose, when I think about it. But I do like my stitching to have purpose and be giftable or sellable, just depending. Little aside, I ended up putting my thread cutter and my threader on the inside of my swan like that. That was really handy. So that's a little bit of feedback. And my travel scissors, travel snips, I hung down here in my thread. What's that doing in there? In my threads. And for the plain, I put all my cottons and wools together. So I didn't have them all separated there. But what I'm thinking is pink and orange. Probably I've got more of them in here, and this might be variations of that, not sure. And they'll sit like that. So little family. And remember, this one I want to be like a flower petal. Sorry, you don't have to remember. It's just in case you saw that previous nest one. Okay, that's come undone, so that's just going to dangle down there while we have a little look around and see what else we've got. This one, oh yeah, I've got the frill on there, I've got the fringe in, I've got this little bit of antique, my what did I do? Paint those, and this has got this lovely cheery stripe. So I did say I was wanting to do more. Oh, I think that's the same. No, I don't know that it is. Let's just get a thread out of here. will not. So I need to join, so let's go underneath here. I need to join this contrasting bit of blanket to this purple one. So let's, instead of hiding it, make it a feature. Check that the battery's not run out yet. Nope. So I've done 4. I like to do 5. Blanket is so soft to stitch through, as we know. Okay, so that's that light little bit. Now, I've got a bit of, I use this, oh, in my heart will go on. Might be better on this side. Anyway, I don't really want to chop that there. What else have I got? Oh yeah, to make them talk to each other, I've got that little bit. So in the world of collage, that would mean that we would overlap that to there. I was thinking of putting a flower. It's been hanging around for ages. Bit red. What else have I got? Oh, I know this. So soft. This was an old pillow slip that I picked up last year in Kansas. So why don't we put that there? Got the cotton there. Put a pin in it. There's the needle. So let's applique this on. My husband is speaking rather loudly on the phone. Must be someone far away. Do you do that? You sort of, my gorgeous mum, when I think I told you, when I was in Kansas and we were talking, and it felt like She knew how far I was away. Well, she did know, but her voice was... Okay, why don't we do a little bit of embroidery on this flower as we go by. Petals. I need to say thank you for all your cares. I got so many messages about travelling safe and people thinking of me, so it worked. It's a beautiful thing. So home safely. Okay, let's just go down there. So I've done a little bit of satin stitch really, just around that flower there. Now let's contrast our cotton. This is just a DMC plain. And let's contrast, bring our stitch up underneath there. Let's go up, blend it into that blanket. Come back down. Okay, that makes 3. So let's see if we can do a flower or something here. Lazy daisy. I'd like to look through my doilies and put some yummy embroideries on as well on both pieces. Just haven't got to that yet. I'm using all 6 strands, which sort of separate a bit, but all good. And I'll come back with and put a different French knot in there in a different colour. So that's joined onto there, which I'm quite liking. And then where am I going to put that pin? If I go down here, onto the other side and use that cotton just to anchor that little bit. And in and under. There we go. I've got this, well, that was a favourite. So this is very much the inside of the petal. I wonder if I split. I am really tempted to make some flower shapes. I'll try that without you watching and we'll see how that goes. All right, now back to this one. Bit of blue here, which I haven't got on that one. And do we need a bit of brightness? Nope, not quite yet. Sometimes I just pull and see. Well, that definitely can be used. That's a bit of vintage sheet. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Like a little garden. Okay. Stop that there. And maybe it could go over like a binding and down. I might just harvest this bit. I hope if you've made these you have as much fun, because it's really playful and not high stakes. These are for using and inspiring. That's what they do to me. I think, oh, let's look inside there. Let's run that through. Then we'll find something to put in that gap. The other thing I wanted to do was use some of my beautiful, oh, that's right, I've got a little bit of Rachel fabric there. That would be perfect. I will use that in between a bright bit and some, what I started to say is I want to use a lot of my braids on this one. So to get the frilly idea, maybe gather a bit of that up. Okay, I think that gives you a hint of what I'm doing. So it's, oh, I really like that. That's making me happy. So it's a nest within a nest, and flowers all the way with vintage textiles. I'm going to keep threads in it and bits of lace. The things I've already said that we're going to use. A bit more of that. Some delicate and this flower. There we go. Oh, and that. All right, so there's my nest to celebrate Kate being back in the nest today. So you'll see me a lot more often. Until next time, keep well. I hope you're happy and having lots of fun. Bye for now.